Our tomato plant looks a little challenged. Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. I've got Jessica Lee running the chat room here. So excited to be with you here tonight, where we are going to talk about fun. I love it when I look at the numbers and the numbers immediately drop before I've even said anything. Have a precipitous drop. So we had some connection challenges over the last couple weeks. If you see the screen freeze or anything of the sort, we should have it taken care of for tonight. We have no snowstorm. If you see anything taking place of the sort, please let us know right away. We will see what we can do about it. With that said, they say life is what happens when you make other plans. Well, from what I'm seeing today, life is not happening for us. More often than not, we are sacrificing our health and our happiness in order to, quote, get ahead. The trick is, if you don't put fun first, it never happens. Life is not about going from one activity to the next, filling all of our times and saying tomorrow, someday, mañana, I will get to happiness. Because the trick is that mañana may never come. We need to build happiness, build fun, build woohoo into our lives. Now, for ourselves, I admit, we've been in this long-term launching of a rocket. There is a lot to do, and I don't say that with a badge of pride. We've been hiring like crazy to be able to get ourselves to step back. But just like I'm always encouraging my clients to do, I am guarding fun time for myself with my life. Whenever I'm working with a client, one of the first things that I do is to help them to put their fun first, even ahead of their health. Let me repeat that. We want to put our fun in our calendar, even ahead of our health. Well, Michael, if I put fun in, then I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do the other thing. Quite the contrary. When you find the fun again, you will have more energy. If people ask me, Michael, why are you either so energized or sometimes on the YouTube live like a squirrel on crack? If you've already done an interview of a day, if you've already been coaching, if you've already, it's because I'm plugging into what gives me the greatest joy. And when you plug in, you have more energy and, in a sense, time in the day to do the things that matter most and to take the greatest care of yourself. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is rediscovering the fun in your life and how to literally build it back into your schedule, no matter how jam-packed it is. But first, a few quick notes. First off, we are waitlisted on coaching. So last year we waitlisted coming up about this time of year, about 2 months out. If you want to get in and get working with me, I can help transform your life. I can help you to go from feeling stuck to on top of the world, from being stuck with a low income to 10xing your income, and to bring those finances in and to get that energy flowing. If that's of interest to you, then we've got to get you in for a free one-on-one strategy session today. So you want to come on over to inspirenationshow.com/coaching and sign up for a free one-on-one strategy session. This is for people who are serious about coaching, who are serious about changing your life. If you are saying, no mas, no more, I want to make great changes now, well, as soon as I can get in with Michael, then this strategy session is for you. If it's about someday, if you want to just send your love out to me, which I love you, thank you so much, this strategy session is not for you. But if you're serious about taking your life to a new level or saying, now, today, I want to make great changes, it is time, I can't take it anymore, I can help get you there. With that said, we have been cranking up, I'm so proud to say, our patron page. What is a patron page? Well, it's sort of like a firewalled or behind the scenes social media site where you can interact with me and Jessica directly, where you can ask your questions, we get back to you, where we share behind the scenes stuff, close personal looks at ourselves, where we're at, what we're doing, what's going on with Sir Meowsers, Lumi, the love bug, and our chipmunks. Oh my God. I think I had about 20 chipmunks quite literally running over my feet this morning, which is really, really cool. And on Patreon, what you do is you pay a once a month membership, we call it a backstage pass, for $7 right now, you get total and complete access to us. You can literally email us during the week, ask your questions. We're there for you. And we're sharing so much more than we put on our Instagram page. And we're very proud of that too. That's our Inspire Nation Live on Instagram. Then we put on our Facebook page. Then we put on our LinkedIn page. Then we put on our Twitter page. Patreon is where you get all the good stuff, all the juicy details, and a lot of my daily musings, what I'm thinking about, what I'm working on myself, and how that can help you as well. So come on over to patreon.com/Inspire Nation. And we also have launched a meditation program. And you go, what's the difference between your meditation program and an app? Well, our meditation program called imeditations.com. First off, you get a bunch of free meditations. And Jessica, my apologies. Do we send them to imeditations.com to get the free meditations? Or do they come on over to inspirenationshow.com to get the free meditations?
I will add a link.
She's going to add a link where you go to get the free meditations. You get free meditations. And then I think it's 99 cents for the first month to get a vault of, I believe it's 50, 60, maybe more than that. We're adding 2 to 3 new meditations a week from your top guests, from the most inspirational spiritual figures out there. These are short meditations. Key, short, get in, get out, 3 to 8 minute meditations. Lots of them on manifestation, on getting unstuck, on diving into your subconscious, on rewiring your mind. You can pick from your favorites. And upcoming, we're going to even have ourselves in the meditations too. So you can go on over to the link that Jessica's provided to find out more about that. All right, let's talk about the fun. And I'm going to move a little bit fast tonight because my father-in-law is here. So we intend to get this done sooner so that we can spend more time with him, because Jessica and my father-in-law are leaving in 36 hours. So I want to take all the time with him we can. What does it mean to focus on the fun? Okay, my example. One of my favorite things in the world, and I write about it every day in my Woohoo 8. I write about it in my automatic writing, because when you write about what brings you the greatest joy, you are most likely to actually do it. One of my greatest things is running on trails in the summer, specifically running uphill, and running up snowy mountains in the winter. So I make sure I put time in daily. Even though, obviously, running the show, we put a lot of hours in, but I carve out that time on a daily basis, and I guard it with my life. In fact, we're going to talk about 4 key things you can do to bring in the fun. Number 1 is guard your fun time with your life. Even if you have kids, a partner, or literally a 24/7 job, there's almost always the tiniest sliver, the tiniest window, the tiniest bit of time you can take for yourself. And if not, that's number 2. Number 2 is, if there's not the time, take inventory of your day. Make a pie chart, use a Google sheet, make a spreadsheet, and see what time leaks you have in your day. Because chances are you're not literally going from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, the entire way through the day. Even if you're Superwoman or Superman, there are leaks in your calendar where you can tighten things up. Jessica would say, for myself, my biggest leak is my transitions. I challenged her on it. She challenged me back. I've tried to take inventory and see how I can tighten things up as well. Our biggest leak is that we don't give ourselves fun time. We come home with this glazed over look. Maybe we need to feed the kids, feed the family, clean things up. And the next thing you know, we're in a stupor, in front of the TV, in front of our phone, in front of the computer. And we're going, I'm too tired to do anything else. You're right. At that point, you are too tired. But what we need to do is stop the cycle, or stop this incredible energy leak. So we need to shut down the electronics earlier in the evening to give yourself the energy to do something else. In particular, typically it means if you get these things shut down, you can get up a little bit earlier. And this is the time of the year where it's easier to get up early because we just went through a time change, falling back, which means we're not maybe quite as exhausted, and our bodies are still a little bit used to the old time zone, although we do our best to wreck that as quickly as possible, but we don't have to. But when we get the electronics shut down a little bit earlier, we can get up a little earlier and either do some of the busy work that gets to get done, maybe some of the housekeeping, for instance, the bill taken care of that needs to get done, or you can front load your fun first thing in the morning. It is a discipline, the D word. It does take some rule setting and then sticking to it. But if you make a choice to cut out that which doesn't serve you, and you can ask yourself simply, does this activity bring me up or bring me down? Chances are, if you're following the news, if you're following social media where FOMO is king, or if you're following even most of the movies and TV shows out there, it's bringing you down. What does that mean? You think that you're recharging, but as you're a zombie on the couch or in your chair, you're actually getting hoovered or having the energy taken away from you. So take inventory, see what leaks you have, and see what you can do about it. No, I didn't say fun is easy, but it's well worth it. All right, number 3, we get to figure out what is fun for you. Perhaps it's an athletic endeavor like me, or perhaps it's a creative endeavor like Jessica's desire to paint, or maybe it's to make music, to carve, to create a business, to sing. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But it matters for you tremendously. But without judgment, that's what you get to do. Chances are there are hints either in your childhood or your early adult years of what you love to do. So what we need to do is either go back into your childhood, write about things, dream about how things were there, or we need to actually try things out. Try lots of things out. Put on lots of different hats. This means I need to give you permission. Like a doctor's note, you need to get a woohoo note that says you have permission to have fun again. Because as adults, we're told to get serious, be responsible, be practical, buckle down, be responsible. But honestly, responsible just leads to an early grave, and it certainly doesn't send the right message to our kids to work and slave and drive ourselves into the ground for the happiness of others. I've worked with kids, particularly when I was working in the ADD world, as kids as young as probably 6, 7 years of age, but it wasn't really until somewhere between 10 and 12, parents would come to me and say, little Johnny, little Susie has been playing intramural, they've been playing hockey, they've been playing Little League, but now I need them to get serious, to buckle down and focus on school. What a crime. Because we're teaching these little human beings to put fun last. We didn't incarnate. We didn't come here into these meat suits. We're not spiritual beings having a human existence so that we can sacrifice and slay ourselves. We came here to enjoy all of the human experience. All of it. Not just in a cubicle, not just in it used to be a 9 to 5, a 8 to 6, 8 to 7, 7 to 8 job, but to go back to having fun again. To me, it's a crime to learn to teach kids how to lock themselves, how to buckle themselves to a seat to be serious, how we can buckle ourselves in a cubicle to be serious. For what? Yes, we get to pay the bills. Yes, we get to make sure that we're doing that, but not at the expense of the fun, which means at the expense of our health, which means at the expense of having a full and rich human experience. So number 4, we get to, when we find something, and I will challenge you, look in your childhood, look in your early adult years, write, journal, grab old, not yearbooks, but grab old photo albums, or even ask your kids, what do I like to do? Once you find and try things out, once you find things, put it into a daily routine. If it's not in a daily routine, it doesn't get done. Let me repeat that. If it's not in a daily routine, it doesn't get done. Why? Because it takes willpower. And willpower is a very limited resource. Look at somebody like a Steve Jobs who talked about, I think it's called decision fatigue. Steve Jobs, I think Jeff Bezos as well, and some of the other giants have said, we only have the ability to make 3 key decisions in a day. That's it. So Steve wore the same clothes every day because if he took the time to make a decision on what to wear, then by the end of the day, he was fatigued and didn't have the ability to make big decisions. If you have to decide what I'm going to do and when, it will never take place, whether that's a fun activity or not. When you go, well, as for myself, I have to clean a window outside so that we can take better pictures of the chipmunks. I can't seem to remember that each morning when we see the cute little chipmunks out. What I need to do is put that into a routine or put that into my calendar, and then it will get done. So perhaps it's first thing in the morning you focus on fun, or it's last thing at night. Wherever you put it, the trick is have it be a regular, repeated home. When I coach people, I always try to get them into a home. I put that in quotation marks because if you have a regular, repeated day, like every 2 weeks on Tuesday or every Monday at 5, it gets done and you don't have to think about it. It becomes automatic. It becomes autopilot. For myself, as soon as my interviews are done, as soon as the upload is done to my editor, I am out the door. No matter rain, nor shine, nor sleet, nor hail, nor, I don't know, flying puppies from the sky. That would be cool, although I'd feel for the puppies. But God, I would love a puppy. But with that said, I know I don't have to think about it. I finish my interview, I go out and play. I finish my interview, I go out and play. I finish my interview, I go out and play. If you put it into your calendar and make it a routine, it becomes a habit and it becomes incredibly easy. So once you find something to do, you get to put it in and guard it with your life. I want to double back. We can call this a bonus. I want to double back to giving yourself permission. The biggest challenge we have in life isn't that we don't know what's fun. I have so many coaching clients who say, I don't know what I like to do anymore. That's a crime because they've been wounded, they've been hurt, they've had a dark cloak or coat put over them, and it's too heavy to be able to see what they love to do. But if we can remove that coat, if we can help get them lighter, if we can help get you lighter, you do know what you love to do. You've just been told ever since you were a young adult, ever since you got married, ever since you started this job, ever since you had kids, or ever since you were a kid yourself, that you're not allowed to do it. And I want to give you permission. See, having fun is looking at the world through childlike eyes again. Notice I said childlike, not childish. I may be the woohoo guy, but I get a lot of stuff done. But I look at a little doll and I go, that's so cool. I have a collection of rocks over here because these are so cool. We have a mouse that looks like a mouse because that's so much fun. I'm looking at the world like I'm a kid again. It's why I drive a bright yellow Tesla, and I actually love driving in that thing. It's my woohoo mobile, my woohoo time. Because I'm saying, what makes your heart sing, Michael? And let's bring more of that into your life. So I want to give you permission to do that. Give yourself to go out and play. For myself, I've set up my schedule so that in the middle of the winter, I work earlier in the mornings, later in the evenings, and in the middle of the day, I'm letting myself get out to the ski slopes. What? You're going to the ski slopes, Michael, but you've got so much to do. Yes, but if I don't take that time out to go and enjoy myself, I will be useless. And so will you. Yeah, but I've got to work and do everything I can for my kids, for my family. I get it. But if you don't put the oxygen mask on yourself first, you'll have nothing left to give, A. And B, your family and your kids are watching you. They're learning from what you're doing. So while you believe that you're trying to give them a better life by slaving away more for them, what they're learning is mommy or daddy isn't happy, A, and B, the only way I can survive, because it makes them feel kind of uncomfortable, is if I work and slave myself and work and help others, but don't take care of myself. They're learning by what you do. So you've got to put the oxygen mask on yourself first and foremost. The happier you are, the more happiness you'll bring into your family, the more happiness we'll bring for your kids. And it is contagious. If these people in Washington were truly happy, do you think all of these problems were taking place? If government leaders worldwide were truly happy, do you think we would have wars? No, we might have some kickball going on if all the adults out there were focusing on the fun. And so I want you to be selfish in the most unselfish way. I want you to crank up your heart light by figuring out what's fun and putting it back in your life no matter what. So with that said, going to open it up to some questions early tonight. We're going to run a Q&A of, my guess is about 20 minutes max. So if you have your question, you want to get it in right away, or we're not going to be able to get to it tonight. My chat window is not working at all tonight. So I'm going to need Jessica to you specifically to give me questions because I can't read anything off of here tonight.
Well, I noticed that CD over there next to your Bumblebee mouse.
Oh, CD by the Bumblebee Mouse. Yeah, da, 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 da. What do you want to say about this?
Well, I mean, you're surrounded by all these things that bring you joy.
I am surrounded by all these things. And I must, I'm going to show and tell here.
I don't know if they could read it, actually.
Okay, so this was our wedding, which was done in an organic farm years ago, barefoot. We had everybody go barefoot. We have no foot fetishes, but we had everybody trace out their feet. It's kind of icky, kind of cool, kind of fun. And we had this childlike joy at the wedding. I won a prize years ago at when we were living on Emerald Isle of a fish plate. What could be more fun? Can you imagine what people are thinking about our home now? But I won a fish plate. And to me, seeing this fish brings me great joy. I don't want to be stuffy. I want a house that is very much like a shrine, but I want it to be a shrine of joy.
I am a little concerned about the rock collection because every time we go on a hike, you come back with more rocks.
This could get out of control. So far, it hasn't. I mean, you've got a rock right here that has a lot. It's hard to see, but this has a lot of gold inside of it, which is kind of cool. We have this right here. I'm using this to hold space. This is quartz that was found right in our yard. And one last one is hematite right here, which when you heat this up, I think what happens is it loses the extra atom or molecule. I'm not sure. I guess we would call it atom of oxygen. And this becomes a shiny mercury-like metal color. So when you have, all of my bracelets are in need of repair at the moment. But when I was wearing a bracelet that had hematite on it, it was actually heated up to 1,000 degrees, hematite rock like this. When you hold this stone, it actually grounds you. And so I like that very, very much. All right, I've done a little show and tell. Do we have some questions? Or do you have a question that you would like to ask?
Yeah, I'm curious. What's one thing that you loved doing as a child that you still do today?
Ride my bike around the block. That was like my favorite thing as a kid. And this afternoon, I got out after interview time, and it was a warm day. It was mid-50s, almost 60 degrees. And not only did I ride up by the river, but I went exploring. And as a little kid, you'll go look in a ditch, you go climb a fence and see what's on the other side. I went out and checked out some roads in our town. You'd figure after a year and a half, we know all the roads, but we don't. And I went and I checked out a bunch of roads that I've never seen before. And it just lit me up with this childlike joy of like being a little explorer again.
Well, we were exploring our property last week.
Yeah, and that was really, really cool. And what I liked is we explored the property and then we came back and compared it to Google Maps, saw what was where. And it was a really cool experience. And there's lots of cool things on the property. There is, I know it doesn't sound cool, but there's a deer that passed away last year that has giant antlers on the property. And we've left it alone for its sacred sake, but it's there. There is a ledge where you can look down over everything, where we want to build some little meditation huts. And it was exciting to see where these huts are going to go. So it was really fun to get out and explore the land. Looks like you're in an interesting conversation. Did you have something fun?
Oh, we have a question from
Yes.
AAA JJZ.
Yes.
I followed my heart and created massive change in my life this summer.
Mm-hmm.
However, now I feel I'm in a void. In a shaken snow globe, I feel lost. I can't put my life together. Advice appreciated, Amanda.
So, Amanda, I have no idea yet, without working with you, I have no idea where that void is coming from. I will say this, that in the West, we see the world as linear. One thing leads to the next, leads to the next. You can read it in a Bible story. You can read it in all of our allegories throughout time, is that one thing takes place, then the next, then the next, then the next. However, in Eastern mythology or Eastern philosophy, everything is cyclical. And if you look at the earth, everything is cyclical as well. What does that mean? Well, there's literally the cycles of the moon, the cycles of our body, the cycles of our season, the cycle of the day. And so often we go into this amazing doing place and we get so much done and we get so excited and it's awesome. And then for some reason, we power down. That's our fall. So we just went from spring and summer. We power down for the fall. We draw inward for our winter. And because we're living in a Western society, we judge ourselves for that downward turn in energy. But in order to draw up energy, to remember who we are, to be able to dive inward, and like a tree, to accumulate a wealth of water for the spring ahead, those cycles aren't optional, but required. And if we can recognize them for what they are, we don't freak out in the process. Now, I'm not just talking about you. I'm talking about myself as well. It's very easy to go, wow, we've been on this upward trajectory and all of a sudden we've plateaued. What's wrong? Or we plateau and we come back down and we think, oh my God, everything that I've done, it's for naught. Quite the contrary. We are always circling up and around the mountain. Now, I talk about it every week. I can't recommend it enough. We have a program that's called Automatic Writing. It is a way that you go into his place of meditation, into his place of prayer, into a place, if you're spiritual, of literally connecting with the angels and putting your pen to the paper and having the pen start to move forward for you, so that you can hear your highest wisdom, so that you can hear from the angels, so that you can hear from your guides, and you can ask, what the freak is going on? Because it is very easy to get lost in our own worlds, driven only by the head, and really fall off the rails. I've mentioned it many times before. That's what happened to Jessica and myself when we were living in Maui, and we got our butts kicked because we weren't listening to our guidance, to our inner wisdom, to our higher selves, to a larger mind. And so now each and every morning, nearly without fail, except for emergencies or like taking somebody to the airport or something like that, we are both doing our automatic writing, going into this place of prayer, asking, what do I need to know? Asking, what is my single most important thing that I can do today? Asking, universe, angels, guides, as I joke, giant cheeseburger in the sky. Why is my life working out this way? Why do I feel stuck? Why do I feel without purpose? Or why did this one crazy thing happen to me? And does it mean I'm off track? And by having a process and routine like that on a daily basis, it helps anchor you in so that you can see what is a cycle. You can see what's working. You can see what needs to be fixed. And most importantly, you can rest assured that you are on track far more than you could ever imagine or believe. We have a hard time believing that for ourselves. But when we do a third-party writing exercise, an exercise where our minds are shut off, we're literally listening to theta brainwave entrainment music, and the pen is going and it's saying, it's all right, Michael. It's all right, Erica. It's all right, Jessica. You're exactly where you need to be. You are loved. You are supported. You are surrounded by assistance. You go, oh, thank God. And you can breathe easier and allow the universe to unfold just as it should and take steps forward at the same time. Life to me is a two-step dance. It's not the secret. Kick back on a couch, hold on to an imagined steering wheel, duck and cover because the Lamborghini is going to arrive in your living room. No. Or as they talk about the stinky elephant. But you have to actually step forward. So you write these things out, you surrender to the universe for your highest good, the highest good of all, and you say, what do I get to do? And you step forward into that. Happy 555. Pookie, you got some more questions?
I do.
Excellent.
Got a question from Susan who writes,
hi, Susan.
can we actually get angels to talk to us through writing?
Oh my God, yes, every single day. Let me say that. Every single day. I'm not someone who used to talk to angels. I talk to angels multiple times a day, every single day. We had the most amazing guest on, Corinne Grillo, talking about connecting to your angels. Had her on just a few days ago. In fact, is the YouTube video out for that yet, or is that coming up?
It is.
Excellent. Corinne Grillo, can't recommend that enough. And she has a beautiful, beautiful book on connecting with angels through automatic writing. It is, I thought of changing it from calling it the automatic writing experience to call it the angel writing or angelic writing experience. You are literally, you can write to your guides, you can write to God, source, universe, inner wisdom, or if you believe in angels, and to me, angels is where the party's at. You don't have to be religious, just beings by your side that keep you from getting hit by a truck, that keep you from getting hurt, that help guide you on your way, that have put a little, oh my gosh, I forgot my cell phone. Let me run back in the house. They're by your side always. And in automatic writing, we are tapping into them each and every morning. Now, I have my favorites, and I write to Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel. In fact, if I worked with you as a coaching client, I do lots of clearing work, or in shamanic terms, we can call it soul retrieval work, where I help you overcome wounds and blocks and basically get lighter, remove that dark cloak or coat that we're all wearing that's pulling us down. And I go to the angels to help remove it. And you can literally, when you call in the angels and you practice this, or if you do work with me, you will literally feel tingling energy coming over your body, something brushing against your legs, something brushing against your arms, something on your chest. And you'll go, what is that energy that I feel? It's literally the angels doing their job. We are not alone on this planet. We couldn't be alone no matter how much we tried. We're spiritual beings having a human existence. And if you get that we're spiritual beings having a human existence, then you understand that they're also spiritual beings having a spiritual existence, coexisting with us at the same time, and here to help guide us and keep us safe at each and every turn if we will only reach out to them. I believe, I've heard, well, there's a rule, angels won't interfere unless you ask. That's not true, because I don't have time to ask an angel if I need to swerve to the left because I'm about to get hit by X, Y, or Z car. They help. But it becomes much, much easier when you keep those requests going, when you build that relationship. Or as Corinne said, I love that. I think she called it an angel bucket. The more that you put out your request to the angels, the more that you develop a relationship. And that's what automatic writing is. It's cultivating that voice so you can hear it any time of the day, not just when you're writing. That's how I do the show. That's how I do interviews. That's even how I do this. And it's certainly how I interact with the Pookie, at least on our better days. But you start to fill up this angelic bucket. And over time, it's overflowing, and you can't help but get assistance from the angels. That was such a cool question. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you have any more questions?
Can you describe what's happening So when you're in an interview or when you're coaching, sometimes you pause and then words come out and you're like, where did that come from? But it happens to be exactly what the guest or the coaching client needs to hear.
So I'm going to describe as how it used to happen in the old days. It's a lot more fluid now. So I'm talking with you. I'm working with you. I've heard your story, shiny beacon of light, and I'm listening. I'm listening to you, and I'm trying not to let my head get in the way, because there's so many things I'd like to jump in and say, but I can almost hear myself saying, wait for it, wait for it. Oh, you know what I realized? Did you have XYZ trauma as a child? And you go, oh, how did you know that? And I will go, I don't have a freaking clue. But what I do when I have interviews and coaching is I run two pipelines at the same time. And it's not a pipeline from my head to my mouth. That gets me in trouble. It's a pipeline between you and me so that I can hear you on a deep soul level, or I call it, I don't really talk about 5D world. I don't even know what that really means. You know, is it inside, outside? Is it up, down? I imagine there being this like glass ceiling or veil, and I'm connecting with you over on the other side of the veil. In fact, I will say a prayer beforehand for us to connect. And I did that with Corinne Grillo at the beginning of the interview. It was really, really cool. So I'm connecting with you. That's one tube. And the other tube is I'm connecting to source. Call it inside, outside, up, down. And my job is not to get in the way. If I'm going, ooh, I wonder what I say to Erica next. I wonder what I say to Jessica next. I wonder. Guess what? I'm not listening to you. And I certainly can't be listening to angels, guides, or source. So what I need to do is go and literally hear what I get to say next. So when I do coaching, I'm literally plugged into angels, to source, to guides, to whatever we want to call it. It's all labels. I'm connected to the love that is within, period. And I am connected to you at a deep soul level. I see you at a level that maybe nobody has ever seen you, maybe other than your mother or father in your earliest days, in your whole life. Because I drop the shield, it's what I call the open-hearted warrior. I drop my need to think, and I bring massive presence. That's where the magic happens. That's where the magic happens in coaching, because I can guide you, because I get you. And that's where the magic happens. I'm sure you've heard one of our shows where a guest is going, oh my God, this was the best interview. You the blah, blah, blah. You got me. You're this, they're that. You're the greatest, Michael. Well, I will take credit, as Ajahn Brahm, monk, said, thank you, I deserve that. But it's not really coming from me. I'm not cheating, and I am doing the work. I'm there, I'm present, I'm asking the questions. But I'm just plugged in. I'm just tapped in. Or in the Matrix terms, I'm just jacked in at that point. And because I've done my homework, the automatic writing, the meditation, cultivating this on a daily basis, cultivating this here, cultivating this with Jessica, and I still get to improve. She is my greatest teacher. She will have me improving until my last breath here on earth, and I'm sure beyond. But because I continue to do that work, that voice, that connection grows stronger each and every day, and allows me to do what appears to be magic in coaching, or what appears to be magic in universe, or that's funny, in universe, in interviews, because I'm plugged into the universe. I'm letting it speak through me. You could call it channeled or guided or something like that. I don't know what term to give it. It just means that I am present, not mindfulness present, not let's go to Silicon Valley and figure out a better way to hack our lives and hack our this present, but truly plugged in.
We've got two questions.
Two last questions.
Okay. First is Simply Faye, who writes,
hey, Simply Faye.
Michael, how do you know you have let go of the right person or right plan? Sometimes I'm afraid I've made the wrong decision. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for your thank you, thank you, thank you, Simply Faye. I'm going to let you into the secret in life, and this is going to be the craziest, wildest secret in the world. A drum roll, please. There is no right, Simply Faye. There simply is. You made the decision. You operated with the best information you had. You operated to the best of your ability. And it simply is. Unless you have a time machine, in which case everything I say is wrong. But if not, it is, as it was, and all we can do is understand the decision and step forward. No kicking, no beating, no berating on ourselves. None of what we do in the Western world, which is use self-help to actually point out what's wrong with ourselves and bring ourselves down. You made a decision. Awesome, perfect, beautiful, even if it's imperfection. No mud, no lotus. Own the decision. No matter how much it hurts, no matter how ugly it appears in the moment. It's not just no mud, no lotus. It is all God. It is all good. It is all an experience. And you can see where I'm going, Simply Faye. It is. We cannot change the past. We can certainly learn from it, although I don't believe we have to dwell on the history of the past or we're going to repeat it. No, if you dwell on it, you are going to repeat it. However, life is an experience. I know this sounds cliche. It isn't this kind of hallmark experience where all of life is la-di-da and we're going to learn these great lessons. No, life sucks at times. Life hurts bad. Grief is grief. Loss is loss. The loss of a loved one is a loss of a loved one. Oh, but you'll get something great out of it. That's ascribing meaning to it. And we have an amazing show coming out on exactly that from one of the leading experts in the world, from grief.com on grief. But the fact is, we are spiritual beings having a human existence, and we can't mess it up. All right? This is my greatest fear, Simply Faye. And I have been working on this like nobody's business. Have I been improving at this, Buki?
Yes.
I think she cringes. But I have been working on this because there is no mess it up. There is no, you're dead at the end of the day. You are dead, Simply Faye. If we remember that at the end of the day, we are dead, then there is no getting it wrong. To me, there's doing it well, there's doing it better. I can do good, I can do better. There is no wrong. What is good and better? Well, one, you might be happy in the moment. One, you might be tremendously happy later on. Who knows? It's all okay just as it is. Can you learn from it? Yes. Can you make better decisions? I'll put that in quotes. Next time, maybe. But you already were operating on the best information you had. Hindsight's 20/20. But you will learn and grow. Your experience, your awareness will come up. And if you're learning from this, you will go quiet more. You may even have your own automatic writing process. But you did the best you can do. And that is awesome. So Simply Faye, I want to give you the biggest hug in the world. I love you. I love you. I love you. And just as you did was perfect, just as it is, no matter what. All right. Last question of the evening.
Okay. Don asks, do the bright colors help, or is it giving the color yellow a new meaning? Just wondering if it was subconscious.
Oh, it's very conscious at this point. It's an attraction that I didn't used to have. I think it was somewhere between NDE 1 and NDE 2 that I went from Mr. Red. My wardrobe. Can you handle a question right now? Just a very, very brief question.
Okay.
All of the clothes that you burned away or that you gave away or wanted to burn when you first met me, what color were they?
Red.
They were all
Red.
They were all red. I was in my fire time, my go, 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 go time. And now I'm in my shine bright, my luminescence, my luminosity, my bringing light to the world. And so I absolutely love this color. I love all different colors. There's a time for red. There's a time for blue. I love a lot of different purples. Each color has an energy. It has a purpose. It's not just subconscious, but each bandwidth has a resonant frequency to it. We had an awesome interview in our first year on air. I don't know if it ever made it to YouTube, by a gentleman talking about how the colors we wear affect our aura. And I choose my colors very carefully, both based on how I feel, the energy I want to give across, and the energy that I want to share with you, or share with a guest, or certainly share with a coaching client. For instance, it is exceptionally rare, unless I've had that guest on the show before, that I am going with red. Why? Red is not just a fire color. To me, in the animal kingdom, red signifies blood. What happens when a shark smells blood? It goes after it. What happens when a guest sees blood? They freak out. Instead, I want to go to something that's more calming. What's the most calming thing in the world? What's the most calming thing in the world? Water. So, depending on how skittish the guest may be, deepest dive on the ins.com. I'm not the can get you the job you're looking for, can get you the income you're looking for, can literally help you go.com income you're looking for, can literally help you 10x your income and 10x your life. Simply go to inspirenationshow.com/coaching. That's all I've got from here. I send all my love your way. Shine bright. Love you guys. See you next week.